In the footage, Armenia and Azerbaijan pre-sign a peace agreement brokered by President Trump. Mr. Trump will be rewarded for his efforts to end a long-time conflict. The parties will nominate the US president for a Nobel Prize. Efforts to achieve peace in the far corners of the world, Mr. Trump has been succeeding, but with parentheses. In an impressive peace summit in Washington, Mr. Aliyev promised not to step back from the commitment to peace. He has broken Russia-brokered commitments before. Mr. Trump pledges to see things through. Hopes up, tough implementation ahead. Ambassador Puyana, thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much for your interview, for your excellent work in the TV, and thank you also the technical team of the channel. Thank you very much.
Ambassador, a peace agreement was pre-signed between Armenia and Azerbaijan under Trump's auspices. Some see this as the end of long-term hostilities between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Others believe just the opposite. It leaves Armenia even more defenseless than before. As an objective expert on peace, what's your take on the peace agreement? Would you say it's the prelude to actual peace?
First of all, I would like then to commend the efforts of the current U.S. administration for broker this peace agreement between the Republic of Azerbaijan and also the Republic of Armenia. But from my viewpoint, this peace agreement and interstate relations is the result of many years of work by the parties to bring to a final agreement among them. And also, we need also to take into account all the actors they brought this peace agreement, the role played, for instance, by the European Union or Georgia, or the case of the UN University for Peace that we have been working with the parties in the past 5 years in bringing also solutions and bringing trust among the parties. Saying that, I would like then also to recall some of important studies and reports of PRIO, the Research Institute in Norway, that they say that most of the agreements agreed by the parties, most of them fell apart. They are not implemented. The 30% of the agreements they don't have an implementation body. In order to fill these commitments among the parties, but what is making the difference? This peace treaty. First of all, I would like then to refer to the joint declaration adopted by both presidents and hosted by President Trump. The reference to the Trump route for international peace and prosperity. This is, I think, an important milestone. A milestone in the sense to bring security to Armenia, in order to connect the Nakhchivan autonomous region of Azerbaijan to the main part of Azerbaijan through the south of Armenia. And I think this is an important clause included in the joint declaration. And also the dismantle, it was a claim by Azerbaijan, the dismantle of the OSCE Minsk group. And I think we have now a plan of action. We have a roadmap among the parties, is the so-called agreement on the implementation of peace and state relations. But the most important, I think, is trust among all the parties, trust between Armenia and Azerbaijan. We should recall that this is the international year of trust and international cooperation, a resolution promoted by Turkmenistan in the context of the General Assembly. But of course, in this plan of action, we have so many important commitments to be implemented by the parties. It's the case of the conclusion of the demarcation agreement between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and also the reference of the importance of open diplomatic relations. This means exchange of ambassadors between the countries, diplomats. We as diplomats, we are peace breakers, peace builders. This is in accordance with international law. And also the importance in this peace treaty, and also is referred in the joint declaration about the respect of the principles of international law recognized in the chapter of the United Nations, the principle of sovereignty, the principle of territorial integrity, the prohibition of the use of force, the no use the force for the internal affairs of another countries. In this sense, I would like also to recall the commend the words and a statement delivered by the Secretary General of the United Nations in regards to this important peace agreement adopted in Washington, D.C., the 8th of August this year.
Trump route infrastructure that will connect Azerbaijan with its enclave is an important highlight. A commercial deal or a geopolitical statement, infrastructure or security. Trump route, a transit road, is likely to combine all in one. If American investment flows into the region, its economic appeal will spike up. Trump route by title is viewed as a token of security. Will Baku attack an infrastructure that bears the name of the US president? Or is it political naivety to trust a gentleman's agreement? Ambassador, the agreement latches on Trump's personal authority and is not legally binding. It is in fact, as you mentioned, a roadmap to implementation that could fall apart at any point. How much faith would you base on its successful implementation?
First of all, also I would like then to make a little of history on this conflict and also this important agreement signed by the Republic of Armenia and the United States of America in January this year, 25, the so-called Partnership Agreement chapter that is devoted on security issues, education, the economic field. This is the result. No, this agreement is the result even from the previous administration in the U.S. First of all, I think it's very important, bring hope, bring trust. This is the essence of any kind of implementation of all the agreements adopted in the context of the United Nations, so in the context outside in the regional context, and for bringing hope, the reference of in this joint declaration and the peace agreement to the good faith. This is fundamental. All the international agreements are not binding. Most of them depend on the good faith of parties to implement always the commitments assumed by them in a summit, so in a peace conference, in a peace conference. In this way, also the reference, and I think this is very important, the reference to the prohibition of the hate speech. No, it's included in one of the points in the plan of action, prohibition of the hate speech, the fight against racism, discrimination, extremism, terrorism. I think this is vital then for implementing and to convince people, because we need to ask to the people in Armenia and also the people in Azerbaijan what is the benefit of peace for them. And then in this way, there are so many challenges. For instance, how we can explain to the families of mothers and moms and dads that they have lost their kids in a conflict. How we can, for instance, it's also refer a strong and important point in the plan of action, the missing people, how we can recuperate the name and also give dignity, because human rights is based in human dignity, and also we all human beings, we have the right to die in dignity. The disappearance on this conflict, and then these are important points then to consider. Saying that important the agreement, important the signature, but we have a lot of work to do in the future. Both parties and also regional powers that surround Armenia and Azerbaijan.
The stakes are high for Armenia. Is the agreement a win-win? Hard to tell. Claims in international courts where Armenia has the upper hand will drop out. Third-party forces will not be deployed along Armenia-Azerbaijan border. Yuma, a soft tool for Armenia's security, will probably leave. And Armenian prisoners are yet in Baku cells. Red Cross not functioning there. But if peace actualizes, it is probably worth it, since all dropped deterrents were meant to control the risk of escalation. Regional superpowers are another important piece of the newly forming geopolitical jigsaw. A redistribution of influences in Caucasus is expected. What are the risks that stem from this agreement, in your estimation?
The risks, I think, also we need to see this conflict in a more global scale. We are living in times of which the number of conflicts in the world is the highest since the end of the Cold War. We have conflicts in Ukraine, we have conflicts in Gaza, we have conflicts in many places in Africa. The number of deaths is increasing dramatically, and then we cannot forget that what is the context. And also there are important, as I say before, another important powers in the region that they see that as also as a change of the geopolitical balance of power on the region. But I prefer always to focus more on not the risk or challenges, on the benefits in first short, medium and long term benefit for bringing peace among the peoples of Azerbaijan and also the people of Armenia. But I have to say that are very brave. For making peace we need bravery, and I think both leaders are brave people, because they do believe that only peace is the way to bring prosperity and to bring stability in this wonderful region that I know for years. We have been traveling to the region, as I say, in the five years, both in Yerevan, in Baku.
As Armenian government shares Washington summit results with world leaders, questions arise. How will Iran and the Kremlin react? The first statements have already been tossed out. Do you think both players will accept greater US involvement in the region, even if it is commercial, although it is also geopolitical?
I know we know from media that Iran is very unhappy with this agreement. I think happy for the economic implications about the transportation of oil and gas. This is, I think, my humble opinion on this. And regarding to Russia, we should remember that Armenia is still member of the collective security treaty. Armenia, they play an important role, and they need to balance. They need to balance well, and for that reason, it's important to balance between the interests of these two important superpowers, the US and Russia.
So this is about diplomatic work.
I think diplomatic work, but also imply many of the factors, many of the fields, the economic field, education, cultural exchange. I think this is vital. We need more diplomacy instead of hate speech and conflict, and to resolve this conflict to advance in the context of the multilateral system, either the United Nations or the regional organizations. I would like to refer about in the chapter of the United Nations, chapter 8, that refer to the regional arrangements between the regional organizations and the United Nations in the pursuit of peace and security.
How will the agreement affect Armenia-Turkey relations? Do you believe that Turkey will open the border with Armenia and Armenia will come out of the 3-decade blockade?
In this, in regard to that question, I would like then to refer a very short diplomatic communique that has been released by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Turkey, that they commend the efforts by Armenia and Azerbaijan to bring peace, to at least to have a plan of action or roadmap, and also they will do all the best then to implement and to strengthen peace in the South Caucasus, and also refer, and I'm referring to the communique they refer to the brotherly relations with Azerbaijan. Saying that, I would like also then to recall the important initiative by the president of the Republic of Armenia, the Crossroad for Peace. The Crossroad for Peace envisaged the possibility to open the checkpoint with Turkey, and also with, of course, with Azerbaijan. And I think everything will depend about the evolution of the relations between, this is my opinion, the evolutions between Azerbaijan and also Armenia, in order then to have an influence also of Turkey, you know.
What economic implications do you believe this agreement will have on the region and for the bigger players from Europe to Central Asia?
One of the main causes of the lack of implementation of the peace treaty is economic implications. What are the benefits of peace for the people, in that case of people of Armenia and Azerbaijan? And I think trade and peace is always connected. And then the initiative by President of Armenia and Crossroad for Peace is a clear example about in this way. And also, I would like to refer to the rules and principles of the World Trade Organizations and the program that they have on trade for peace. We have examples, thousands of examples about the importance of peace for the stability of countries and regions. The best way to promote peace is to fight against poverty. And the best way to fight poverty is to have growth, economic growth. And for that, we need peace and stability among all the countries. This is basic. And then in this way, the reference in this joint declaration and also the peace agreement about the economic cooperation and the relations between the countries in this field, I think is fundamental to bring hope to the people and have growth. This is an important step forward. Thank you.
Thank you one more time. One thing is certain. The success or failure of implementation will soon give the answer to the question, was the agreement worth the, in essence, one-sided concessions that the Armenian opposition sounds the alarm of? If peace and unblocked communications, the eternal peace, as Aliyev promised soon after the recent bloodbath he had himself initiated, becomes the new reality, justice will have to stand by.